Hello friends, welcome back. So we're gonna give our thoughts on the 30th anniversary, much anticipated. Big chunk of the info is already out, but not everything, I suspect. Now, based on what is out so far, we're gonna share our thoughts, whether or not it's worth your time getting. Spoiler, it probably is. Regardless, before we go on, pause the video, check out the disclaimer. Always remember, we are not financial advisors. Do your own research.
Wonderful, let's get into it.
So, Pokemon 30 years old. I think it's been a journey, I have to say. The TCG is not 30 years old, but Pokemon as a franchise, I think when the anime came out, right,
Yes,
it's
that's right,
30
that's
years old. The Japanese, I think, is 30 years old TCG, but not the English.
That's
so,
right.
anyways, I think the first talking point I want to share is that it is, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time, a simultaneous launch.
Yes, between the English and the Japanese languages.
Yes, which are
Confirmed so far, yes.
two biggest, right?
Yes.
Now, this is relevant because typically for the English side, they will be able to gauge demands, especially scalpers, right? What is the demand situation like for a particular set based on the Japanese? And then from there, they will create their responses. Whereas now, the scalpers have to take a little bit of risk to see whether or not the demand is great, because now there's no time or there's no time lag to be able to foresee certain things. But since I believe you have been following the space a lot longer than I have, I want to get your thoughts on what it was like during the 25th anniversary. Do you still remember roughly how it felt?
The 25th anniversary, in comparison to now, I would say there was still hype around it because that was still in the advent of the whole Logan Paul bringing the hobby back situation. However, I think that if you compare it to the situation now, there was a lot less, it's a different scale completely. And there is a lot less awareness as to the value of these things back then. And so if you in your mind, you can kind of scale it back. You know, there was still a lot of excitement around the 25th, but not nearly as much as there is now coming into this 30th anniversary.
All right. So anyways, it's exciting. Simultaneous launch. Basically, you'll be able to get both the Japanese and English at the same time. Now, the second talking point, I think, has to be the FURs. I've heard people say FUR. Sounds a bit vulgar, but some people call it the full name, which is the Futuristic Rare. This is a totally new rarity.
That's right.
Just a bit of history. 2011 was when Full Arts got introduced. 2022, SIRs got introduced. And then more recently, the Gold Ultra Rares also got introduced.
That's right.
And the Futuristic is a new one, right? Only introduced in this. Now we talk off camera, saying how that what makes this interesting is that it could be the only time they print this sort of rarity for the 30th anniversary, or it could be a new rarity involved for future sets.
Exactly. Or it could be a rarity that only comes back for the anniversary years. We don't know that.
Yeah, so but before I move on, share with me your thoughts on the overall artwork. I know you have some issue with the Mew, right?
Yeah, you can see that, where that ball of light is at the bottom of Mew's face. It almost looks like lips and a mouth, To me,
it looks like Jinx, right, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have easily omitted that, but maybe there's an appeal there that I'm missing. I don't know.
I mean, I also asked you this question because you are a big fan of Mew and Mew. That is your PC, your
exactly.
collection.
Mewtwo and Mew are my favorite Pokemon of all time. So I'm going to collect this. It's just that ideally I would have liked the Mew to be presented a little bit differently, but that's okay.
So I'm not trying to defend the art, but I just want to share with you why the art looks like that. So
please do.
Especially with the Mew, it looks like it's giving you a 3D effect.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the artist behind this, which is YOSHIROTTEN, his signature design style is this thing called making the invisible visible, or the other way around. I'm not an art person, but basically he's trying to make objects that can look invisible appear a little bit visible.
Right.
It's a bit philosophical, but if you look here, if you look at the Mew especially, you feel like there's a transparent quality to Mew. The metallic 3D transparent quality. So it's a bit modern, urban.
Slightly translucent, but it has that sort of metallic texture.
You feel like you can put your hand through Mew, if that makes sense.
So it's almost like a ghostly kind of appearance he's trying to go for here.
Yeah, it doesn't quite capture fully, but art people, no one really understands what they're thinking, right? But I'm just trying my best to illustrate. Now, why this is important is I think people don't pay enough attention to YOSHIROTTEN. Now, he gets invited to this thing called, or he has gotten invited before, it's called the Tokyo Underground Art Festival, I believe. I may butcher it, correct me in the comments if I got it wrong. What is the relevance to you? Now, I know you are a TCG consumer, so you probably don't really care about art as much. Neither do I. But doing the research, I found out that this festival that he was invited to is quite premium and exclusive. And the sort of people that he's rubbing shoulders with are people like Hajime Sorayama. The person who actually designed the helmets for the famous electro punk band Daft Punk. Right?
Wow.
Also, the other album arts, right? I didn't put them here. So this is the caliber of people TCG is going for, the Pokemon TCG, and it shows like their seriousness in bringing like serious artists into the space. It's no more just the typical, I mean this with no disrespect, but it's not the typical illustrator that is just doing animation.
Yes, exactly. These are artists, from the mainstream who are, either that or very well renowned.
Yeah, you can say
in the art space.
Yeah, it used to be if these artists were to be requested to do art like Pokemon, it feels like a step down, but not anymore.
No, not anymore. Not at all.
So that's really cool. Some of his former work would include Onitsuka. He has brand collabs with Onitsuka. Right here, the shirt you see is Supreme, and even Mercedes-Benz, right? This is their McLaren. I'm not sure which model, but he has designed stuff like that before.
It's amazing, yeah.
So it's a very sort of like a urban premium, a little bit more hip kind of. So this is why this is very unique, and I believe those the two futuristic rares, his first foray into Pokemon.
Very, very interesting.
Now, I think when we look at the other hits, which could become more valuable in terms of market value compared to the futuristic rares, would be the 30 Pikachu cards that you stand a chance to get by ripping the packs, right?
So it's very interesting, 30 different Pikachu cards, of which now we've seen quite a few. 30 of the cards have been fully revealed. Sorry, pardon me. 3 of the cards have been fully revealed, with another 27 to be fully revealed.
Yes, but then there's a partial review on the 1 minute odd teaser.
That's right. We saw some teasers of the artwork already, as you can see here.
The one that catch your eye, I believe, is the one with that it's above this 14/30, right?
Yeah, there are 2. One has his sort of cheeks.
Yep, the one here.
Yep, climb between the banisters of the staircase. That's one of my favorite ones. And also this one here, which looks like he's kind of sick, kind of distressed or something. And I think that's going to be a very unique one to collect.
We always love all the contorted faces,
and
right?
If you look at it, it kind of reminds you of the Munch.
Yeah, a little bit.
The Munch Mimikyu and the art style seems a little bit reminiscent of that, actually.
Yeah. So I think, these are some of our candidates for among the 30, which one are going to be more valuable.
Yes.
But then again, we could be wrong because my view has always been ponchos are really boring, and yet they very high value. So take my word with a pinch of salt, or our words. Now, some other cool stuff they're bringing back across the generation, right? This was quite different from the celebrations, which is the 21st anniversary, where they only focus on mainly the base set with a few, other generation.
That's right.
But here they are pretty much all the generations they're targeting.
Yes, every generation is represented here.
Except Mega Evolution, I believe.
Yes,
the latest one.
Yeah,
so the last one is
actually there is. We have a Mega Gardevoir right down here.
Oh no, sorry, as in the series, like the current one.
The current? Oh, right.
Yeah. So the latest is the card.
Yes, exactly. The latest is the Scarlet and Violet Magikarp.
Yes.
From Shikanda.
Yes.
As you can see, we have everything from the base set. You can see here Gym Challenge, followed by the Neo generation, followed by here you see the Crystal Lugia from
Classic
from Skyridge, right? Yes. Wow.
So if you were to pick, let's say 1 or 2 cards, from both a collector's and an investor's perspective, which are you going to target?
Okay, so hot take here. I don't think that the Charizard will be among my choices because we've had the same artwork with the 25th anniversary stamp. So I think that because we already have that, I don't know how different this is going to be.
Oh, this is the 3 and the 2 and the 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only difference here maybe will be the foiling and the 3-0 because we've already had something so similar to it. Maybe people would still collect it because it's the original, the OG Charizard artwork. But I think it's not high on my list because we've already had something so similar before from the 25th anniversary.
So give me just 2, right?
So I'll give you just 2. I would say the Crystal Lugia for sure, and then I would maybe pick the Pikachu Zekrom as well as 2 of my picks. And as an honorable mention, I would say maybe even the Gengar Prime. What about you, MJ?
Actually, yours is mine's exactly the same, except that I would prioritize the Prime Gengar and then the Crystal Lugia. If I had a special mention, it would be the Metagross. I grew up on ripping Delta Species.
Yep, Delta Species is awesome. They never brought it back since then, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So now the sealed, some stats. There's going to be 6 cards per pack. There's going to be an energy card as usual. But typically, I think this is more for the Japanese one. It's +1, right? Usually it's 5. Now they're getting 6. Every card is apparently foil, and of course you stand a chance to get the 30 Pikachus. Now no design details have been revealed, but there will be ETBs. And as for the English set, the number of cards and things like that have not yet been revealed.
And I think the most important thing is we don't yet know the pull rates of each of these rarities.
There you
That'll
go.
be interesting to know moving forward once we gather some data.
So this is the seal. I think we have no news on booster bundles even. We have no news on UPCs, SPCs, things like that. But I suspect they will make an appearance because if Celebration had something very similar, I can imagine 30th anniversary will be like that.
Yes, certainly.
Now, before we go on to our conclusion, pay some attention and don't sleep on the premium deck set, which will involve Espeon and Umbreon for obvious reasons, right? You have Umbreon there. Not much detail is released, but if you have X amount of capital and you want to invest in the 30th anniversary, do save some for Umbreon and Espeon, especially if you like the Pokemon. Now, just as a conclusion, I think this is a no-brainer. I think we discussed off-cam. If you can PO, try to get it because it's going to be a scalper's wet dream.
Yes, it's going to be a gold rush for sure for this set.
And if you manage to get some of this stock, I think it's quite safe, not a guarantee, but it's quite safe to say the price action is going to be like pretty crazy. But our view is that we are not going to sell right away, right? And I remember, I think you mentioned to me in private that I think it's at least double, only you will consider selling.
Yes. If it's double what your cost is to buy, I think I would consider selling and putting that capital into something else. But if it doesn't reach that threshold, I think you should be in no rush to sell.
Yes. I would say that if you have a longer term outlook as well, even if you don't get any POs, if you have, like we do, good relationships with certain suppliers, don't be afraid of getting it. If you believe in the thesis, right? Don't be afraid of getting it even in the secondary market price.
Yes. If it's a reasonable markup, I think it's still worth it to buy, honestly.
There you go. But if you still can't get any suit products, of course, I think if this kind of set, I would probably prioritize the ETBs and all that. But again, the details are not out yet. I believe you should try to get some of the cards. Whether you can grade it or not, of course, depends on your luck. However, if you're going to get the slabs, I have a feeling that with the whole PSA thing, removing the value bar, increasing the number of days, is going to be hella pricey. I think that is probably the one area that I will be least excited about unless I buy and PO and rip myself and get it.
Right.
But I think the area with the high chance of you either losing money or not making as much would be getting the slabs. I could be wrong.
Yes. It's going to be an insane raw market for this new set moving forward for sure, because the PSA situation is so uncertain, right?
100%. Now with that, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Anything else you want to add, Paul?
All I'm going to say for this is don't miss this opportunity. I think that if you can buy slabs right now at market price, I think that come time when the 30th anniversary drops, I think a lot of those cards are going to go up as well. So
You heard it here.
go forth and invest.
See you in the next video. Bye-bye.
See you in the next one.